Hi everybody, this is Denise, and I considered making this video with the forward-facing camera, which just kind of looks better, but I'm in the middle of quilting a blanket for a friend of my brother, so it's kind of messy in here. But anyway, at the end of the month, this is the day after Christmas in December, and so officially 1 month of the challenge, and this is a great time for a recap. So I had already actually made a video, which I'm going to show you parts of, and usually this was Saturday, and this would be my wash day, but I am home for winter break, and so I washed a day earlier because actually last week I washed a day earlier. And so here's how the routine went. Like, everybody has a ton of wash day videos. So I decided I was not going to make a wash day video. Like, who really needs another wash day video? So let me just tell you what I did. Basically, last week I did a pre-poo with a packet from Silk Elements that I just happened to pick up at Sally's when I was getting the cream conditioner, and it was nice. It was just really nice. It had really good slip, and other than that, I don't actually know what value it added to my routine at all. So I don't really see any reason to do that. What I normally do is Fridays before that Saturday, I will put the sulfur 8 onto my scalp and let that soak in overnight. I know if sulfur 8 is actually doing anything? No, I really don't. Um, but I'm using it anyway, so that's what we're going with now. And then I don't do any of the other like pre-poo stuff because I've been oiling my hair basically every day. And so what I found is, even before the challenge, when I first adapted this kind of semi-routine, I didn't really have any tangles. You know what? Detangling really hasn't been a problem with me for a while. With the whole oiling the scalp and oiling the hair. Once that water just hits it, it just rinses out basically. So I'll just rinse through my hair. Then I put the shampoo in. I shampoo my scalp. Then I'll rinse that out and I'll shampoo my hair. Then I rinse that out, use conditioner. Everything's great. Now, normally I deep condition every time I wash, which is once a week, and when I'm flat ironing, once every 2 weeks. And I don't have a deep conditioner that I rave about. There's been a couple things that I've used. Um, During this challenge, I put the amla into a deep conditioner I had and used it as a mask. And then yesterday, what I did is I took the amla, because when I watched the Curly Proverbz video, she didn't put anything in it really, just water. So I took the amla, I added some aloe vera powder, and I added some fenugreek powder. And I'm guessing it was the aloe vera that gave it a slip. It was a lot more pleasant experience than it was even when I mixed the amla into the deep conditioner. Put that on, let it set for half an hour. It really smelled weird. Like, it smelled like cut grass, and I don't like the smell of cut grass. But it was nice, basically. So I'll show you the picture of what my hair looked like when I took it out of the twist on Friday, and then what it looked like after it was washed, and then I blow dried it. So, you know what? I'm not going to be one of those anti-heat people, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, I am going to flat iron my hair. How often, I don't know. Of course, it's only going to be during flat iron season, but the biggest problem with me is that the single strand knots. And I think that's where I went wrong last year and lost a lot of length, and got a lot of breakage. And the first reason, I think, because in order to really keep my hair uh, curly with a good curl pattern, I'm constantly keeping it moist. That's one of the things about this challenge that's kind of a caveat. I'm going to have to work that out. But keeping it moist, and I was wearing it in a high puff, And so the combination of keeping it moist in the high puff and the single strand knots that were allowed to form because I was wearing my hair in this curly state. My fine hair just cannot tolerate um, really wearing it in a curly state. And so even with the twist from this challenge, I'm still getting a lot of single strand knots at the ends of the twist if I allow them to be curly. I'm getting single strand knots. Boy, I cannot say that word today. I'm getting single strand knots in my edges. I'm getting single strand knots in the kitchen and the hairs in the back of my head that are too short to do anything with. It's just single strand knot city for me. And what I don't want to do is continue to lose length because I'm cutting away single strand knots. That's just not going to work. So wearing my hair in a curly state where it's not completely braided all the way down or all the way twisted down or somehow is just going to be problematic. One of the ways I've found to combat that is to blow it as straight as possible or to flat iron it. The other way I'm thinking about combating it is using the flaxseed gel at the ends of all of the strands. And that might be my go to. Um, I don't know how I feel about, well, I don't know how I feel about a lot of things with this is going, but that might be the solution for this. And I'm wondering too if I'm getting like, there's like single strand knots at the edges. And it's so funny. My edges I've never been like without edges. They're just edges, but they seem to be growing in longer, and I'm getting single strand knots at the ends of them, which like defeats the purpose. No, my like castor oil is just not heavy enough to combat the single strand knots. So I'm thinking the gel might do it. Uh I don't know. Some of it might be because too I am wearing the headbands because I'm just trying to do the best I can to make this look good in my eyes. Just, I feel, I don't know, some kind of way. And so I'm doing my best to make it look good. So it may be the friction of the headbands. Um, I don't know. I'm just going to think about that one. So, at any rate, in the meantime, I am going to put gel at the ends. That's going to be my compromise for now. I don't know if that's going to get yucky or not, but we're going to find out. Also, I am a little concerned about hydro fatigue because the oil is actually not a problem, and that's where a lot of people are like, the whole oil butter people don't need to oil your scalp. People, I'm not really worried about them. I don't seem to have a problem oiling my scalp. I oil my scalp. Well, I massage the oil in, but I oil my scalp and my hair when my hair is straight. And I'm telling you, my hair just sucks up the oil. Does not really look greasy and stringy for the 2 weeks. And it actually helps my heat, my, yeah, the flat press, the heat style lasts longer because, I don't know, sweating on the scalp or whatever the elements are, they're not penetrating the ceiling of that oil. If that makes any sense at all, I don't know if that's scientifically correct, but it seems to me that adding the oil when my hair is heat pressed like makes it last longer, and it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't seem terribly greasy. So it's not the oil that's the problem, it's the moisturizer or the tea every day. So there's a portion of the day where my hair is wet, and so I do worry about hydro fatigue. And I think that was one of the problems last year when I wound up with so many split ends and didn't really see any length retention, which was very, very disappointing. I don't know. So I thought maybe I might not continue the challenge um, because of that, because that was one of my concerns. Also, wasn't really feeling like I was getting any more length than I would normally get, and the retention seemed okay. And I really would like to wear my hair in a style other than these twists, which is not possible if I'm putting conditioner in it every day. It's not possible. So that's just kind of the way it is. I hope all that made sense. There's just a lot of concerns, and one of the main reasons why I'm even making these videos looking like so terribly cross-eyed in the forward-facing camera is that there are videos where um, Curly Proverb talks about what to do, and you read the comments, and except for like one or two people, there's nobody really talking about them going through the whole challenge and what their day to day struggles are or day to day questions. So that's kind of why I'm doing this. If you've never watched her main life, you really should. Um, I really admire her because she pretty much is going through the same thing. She's not doing the whole Curly Proverbs challenge, but she has fine, low density hair. And so she's trying to find better ways to take care of her hair. And she does the whole mini braids and mini twists and just kind of talks about how it made her feel like she hardly had any hair on her head. And, how she's trying to live with not using extensions to some degree, or at some point she used the plant based ones, and how she's just learning how to love her own hair, whatever it, entails on top of her head. So it's definitely a thing. All right, so here's the part everybody wants to know is in 30 days, how much hair length have I retained? And basically, it's the average amount of hair length that you would normally retain um, if you're retaining hair length. I didn't have any super growth as far as I'm concerned. It's within the average. I feel like the 3 weeks that I tried to use the MSM, that I saw some improvement in my nails. Thinking if I had been able to use the MSM, I possibly could have seen some accelerated growth. Now, in the meantime, I eat all these sulfur rich foods anyway. And so, I don't know how much MSM is comparable to, you know, the, how much food you eat. Because sometimes, these supplements are double, triple, or whatever, what you would consume in an average month or something like that. I don't know. I can't make those kind of claims. I don't know, but I eat plenty of nuts and seeds and um, these sulfur rich foods. So that is what it is. So, anyway, let me show you. And I have this is the right braid. Well, there's two of them here. And so I have a picture in comparison of last time, and it was like seven and almost 7.25. So I'm gonna try to, and this is almost 8, maybe a little past 8. This one is not quite at 8. So about a half inch to 3/4 of an inch of hair growth. So I am retaining the length. That's not going to be an issue. So as it stands, I'm just going to continue on. I have a gel. Let me just show you. So I've always hated gel. My hair has been anti-gel. Gel's given me nothing but grief. That's before I knew my hair was high porosity and that I had to add a bunch of other stuff on top of my hair before I used gel, or my hair was just going to suck all the moisture out of gel and flake it. But now I know this. And so there's still a lot of things in gel that I don't really want on my hair. And I have a lot of this. This is the Eben, I don't know, curl gel, curl elongating, Brazilian avocado manuka honey. There was like a bunch of it at my uh, local beauty supply store. And this was when I was doing the high puff. And it's supposed to be anti-frizz, healthy looking curls, maintains moisture. You know, the Brazilian avocado manuka honey is pretty much what got me. And it says moisturizes the hair while taming unwanted frizz, making it perfect for protective styling. So, and I've always been like kind of looking at stuff like no formaldehydes, no edge controls, no of the wrong alcohols, definitely no fragrances. I cannot tolerate fragrances. So the first thing I did was open this up and smell it. And so I hadn't used it yet. Well, I used a little bit of it when I was doing that, but that was only a couple months. And I thought to myself, maybe I will use this at the ends of my twist. And so the ingredients look okay, but I'm going to really dive into it and see if it's something that I want on my hair. Now, the thing about the flaxseed is that, okay, so I DIY everything. This is like not unusual for me, but I just don't want to mess around with the flaxseed gel. I've made it before. I don't want to mess around with it. It doesn't have a great shelf life. I don't want to put it in ice cube trays and get it out of the refrigerator. I just don't want to deal with it. So I have a choice between using this up for now, um, DIYing it, which I don't want to, or buying one of the on-market flaxseed gels. So I'm trying to see which of the ones on the market are the most natural, as natural as you could possibly get with something on the market, flaxseed gel. So I'll let you know how that goes. I'm looking at the Shea Moisture one for a while. The thing about Shea Moisture is they tend to have these fragrances, and I tend to have a problem with the fragrances that they add to their stuff. And we'll see how it goes. So this is what I'm going to start with. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and continue with the challenge and see if I can make it to the end of January. And I'll be back in about 2 weeks. Let you know how things went. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.